Aloha, people. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of Hawaii. For those of you who've been following the website for the last few months, you know that we have been buying, listing, and selling properties in one specific subdivision in Hawaii County. That subdivision is Ocean View Estates. This is our very first property outside of Ocean View Estates in a different subdivision with a whole lot of different things to talk about here. And I'm very excited about this lot. It's a lot bigger than other lots within this sub. And as you can see from the headline, it's a corner lot. It's got power. It's got paved road access. So there's a lot to like about it. And finally, as we venture outside of Ocean View, I will have different things to discuss in this video. So let's get to it. This is reference number HIHI 3786. As noted, it is located in Hawaii County on the Big Island. This lot is 0.36 acres, not 36 acres, 0.36, so roughly 2/5 of an acre. It's a combination of two adjacent 0.18 acre lots. And this property is priced affordably at $9,500. Now, as I pull this up on a map, and as with all of our listings, come down here, click the GPS coordinates, it'll pull it up on a map. For those of you who are wondering why a property that is so much smaller than the Ocean View Estates properties is priced at basically the same amount, it's because real estate values in this area are higher, FYI. So just to answer that question quickly, additionally, this property sits within an area that has some light covenants. So the stuff that gets built out here, there's more utilities out here. The things that get built out here is generally more aesthetic uniformity. Community association that's trying to sort of protect the value of your property values in the area, etc. So that's why this one is on a price per acre basis more expensive than our Ocean View properties. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, before I get to specifics, let's talk about where this is on the island. So, as noted, property sits right here in Hawaii County, the Big Island. It's on the eastern part of the island here in the Puna district. And if you zoom in, you will see that it is part of the Nanawale Estates community. This whole cutout area here, conveniently labeled on Google Maps, is Nanawale Estates. And of course, Nanawale sits right here off of Pahoa Village Road, the 132. This property sits in the northern part of the subdivision, the sort of back end of the subdivision. So yeah, whatever the case, you are within easy driving distance of nearby Pahoa. Over here, you're going to have access to schools, churches, medical, as well as a lot of shopping. Of course, there's a post office here. There's bars and grills, things like that. And if you go through here, what you're going to see is here's the Long's Drug, the Burger King, the Ace Hardware. If you're going to be building on this property, you need easy access to supplies and tools and whatnot. You're only about 5 minutes away. And Pahoa is a kind of thriving little community. As you can see right here, they've got a big multi-million-dollar shopping center that's being built, etc., etc. So most any of the amenities that you're going to need from Nanawale Estates are within easy driving distance here. If there's anything you can't find here, you just take a little drive up the road, up the 130, into Kiao over here, and they have a whole bunch of other great amenities. Of course, there's more schools here, hospitals, churches, so on and so forth, as well as shopping, things like that, shopping and restaurants, and blah, blah, blah. And if that one doesn't do it for you, just so you know, this property in Nanawale Estates is roughly a 30-minute drive from Hilo. Hilo, of course, is the most densely populated part of the Big Island. We'll call it the most vibrant community. But out here, of course, you're going to have access to a whole lot of other great things, including the international airport up here, and a lot of great beaches here in the northern part of the island. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, with all that said, let me zoom back in here. I just want to go into the property and talk about specifics. So, as noted in the headline, this is a corner lot located off the corner of Hapua Road and Kailua Road. I hope I'm pronouncing those correctly. I'm probably not. Whatever the case, as noted, it's a combination of two adjacent 0.18 acre lots. So there's this lot and there is this lot right here. These are the two properties that we're selling. Now, I just want to make you guys aware, this entire subdivision, Nanawale Estates, as you can kind of see here from the plat, it's roughly about 4,200 lots. All of them are basically 0.18 acres. So if you guys are looking at this saying, hey, this looks like a great area, I'd like to buy a 5-acre property out here, it doesn't exist, okay? The entire subdivision are basically 0.18 acre lots. So when you're fortunate enough to come upon adjacent lots that are being sold like this, this is about as big as you're going to get, and a lot bigger than what most of your neighbors have in this region. And of course, I'd encourage you, if you don't believe me, just scan through the rest of the plat and you're going to see that it's rare to find anything. I don't know what this is. Hang on. This is probably not an area that you can actually live on, is my guess, because all of the residential lots are 0.18 acres. Anywho, as noted earlier, I was talking about price per acre basis, this being more expensive than the other area. I was talking about light covenants. This area is part of the Nanawale Estates Community Association. As you can imagine, there is an HOA fee that goes with this area. Nothing too extravagant. It's $99 annually, and actually we have that listed here in our table, $99 annually. So for each lot, you've got about $200 in annual taxes, $400 total, plus $99 in HOA fees. One of the benefits of the HOA here, and I just want to say this, we get properties that are in HOAs, and I generally try to avoid the ones that seem like they're designed exclusively to just siphon money out of the people's pockets who live there. That is not Nanawale. Nanawale seems pretty laid back. They have some covenants, light covenants. Most of them are just logical, common sense things, essentially nuisance covenants about disposal of rubbish and noise, things like that. They do have a few building restrictions, not much. I'll get into that in a bit in the video. But the point is, you've got an organization out here that is trying to preserve the value of the region, trying to keep property values high for the people who buy out here, which is why, as noted, on a price per acre basis, it's a scooch higher than where we have previously been selling. Whatever the case, the price of $9,500 for 0.36 acres is actually really good out here. I'd encourage you guys to try to find some comps on Redfin and Zillow. You're gonna find it's very difficult to beat that price. Anyway, blah blah blah. Let me show you some photos from the property, guys. I just want to let you know that because this is a densely forested property, I did not do what we normally do, which is get about 40 photos of the property, because it is mostly trees and ferns. I didn't want to show you 40 photos of trees and ferns. So just to give you a sense of what the photo gallery is here, you've got a couple sets of photos. The first is just of Nanawale, of the community itself. As you peruse through these, you can get a sense of what's available just to community members out there as far as, community pool, picnic area, fields, playgrounds, so on and so forth. And once you get past this second red hut photo, then you are within the property-specific photo. So you can see that the property that we're talking about with the power and the paved road access, this is exactly what it looks like out there. And obviously it's going to be easy to get hooked up to the grid out here. You've got some neighbors, as you can kind of see in some of these photos, already some nice little houses built out here, etc. The most you're really going to have to worry about is sort of dozing, quote-unquote dozing, bulldozing the lot. These lots are consist of Ohi'a and Albezia trees, so obviously you're going to want to get those torn down before you can build on it. For the record, the way that works out here is that you go to the Public Works office, you get a permit to do that, you present the permit number to the Nanawale Community Association, and then they say, go ahead, knock yourself out. And then you're going to basically hire some local who's got a bulldozer who can come in and kind of, landscape and grate the land, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, as you continue to go through these photos, I just want to point out there are also going to be photos from the local region. You can get a sense of exactly how sort of bucolic and charming the region of Pahoa is. All these little churches and beautiful murals on the sides of apartment complexes. It's a really nice area. It is, as you can imagine, Hawaii to look, just very pretty and inviting. So these are some of the nearby schools, nearby churches, so on and so forth. And then our photographer took a bunch of photos of the nearby community as well. Basically, the photos that you see in this gallery, the 15 that aren't exclusive to the property, are all things that are within a 5-mile, drive of the property. And that includes the beach photos at the end of this gallery. So I'd encourage you guys to take a look at this, scroll through the gallery, you'll see exactly what amenities are out there and available to you. Blah, blah, blah. With all that said, let's talk more about this Nanawale Community Association. Oh, and actually before I do, just to kind of demonstrate the location of this property, this is the plat of the region. These are the two lots located here off of Hapua Road and then Kailua, FYI. All right, so with all that said, in regards to the Community Association, if you come up here, click this link, it's going to take you to their website. This is a fairly informative website. We lifted a lot of what was on here, and we linked a lot to certain documents that they have, such as the covenants and restrictions. I'm going to walk you through those in this video. Whatever the case, after I get done with that, if you have any more specific questions about living in this area, about building in this area, they have their contact information up here. They obviously are going to be a better source for that than necessarily calling our offices. So you've got their email, you've got their phone number. Feel free to reach out to them. This is one of these HOAs that makes it pretty easy to get in touch with them. We reached out and asked them a couple questions, and they were informative, as opposed to unavailable, which some of these places are. Anyway, back to the listing page. I just want to show you guys. So we have linked here in the table PDF of the covenants and restrictions. It's also linked up here in this part, Nanawale CCRs. As noted earlier in the video, these are not onerous restrictions. These are all fairly logical. We made note here of 3 building restrictions you'd want to be aware of. Number 1 is there's a 1-year time limit on building on the property. Let's be clear. You can buy the property, do nothing with it for the next 50 years of your life, but the day that you say, hey, I want to build on this, and you got your building permit and you break ground, they'd like you to be done within 365 days. What happens on day 366? I doubt all that much, but the point is they would like you to be done within a year. Additionally, point number 2 is no structure can be taller than 24 feet or 2 stories. And number 3 is they have a minimum square footage requirement of 880 feet. A lot of people who reach out to us here on the website want to build tiny homes. I don't know if 880 fits your definition of tiny, but it seems kind of small to me. So perhaps that means if you're looking to do that, you'll be able to do that here. Additionally, I want to make you guys aware that we also have a link. So we have a link here. This is in case you don't know what dozing of a lot is, or you don't know what that process looks like. I actually found a video on YouTube. If you click on this link, it's going to take you to a very long, very informative, kind of boring video of a guy dozing a property with a bulldozer in Nanawale Estates. So if you sit here and you watch the whole video, or even if you fast forward through it, you'll get a sense of exactly how this process works and what the lot looks like at the start and what it looks like at the end. And of course, as you can see linked here on the side, there's even more videos of people dozing lots in Nanawale Estates that they recorded for an hour and posted on the internet. So there you go. That should help you with your research. I will pause that now and get back to the listing page. Anyway, in addition, we also have some helpful links here as far as Puna Web. If you click on this, it's going to take you to a forum, Puna Talk, where you can direct questions. You can ask locals questions about, who's a good person to hire to doze a lot in Nanawale Estates, and they can recommend them. I have found recommendations for that specific question in here. I don't want to endorse anybody on the website, but if you read through here, you'll read the endorsements of locals. Trying to find a Facebook community page for Nanawale Estates. It doesn't seem like it's updated very often, so we don't have that linked, but blah, blah, blah. Now, additionally, I also want to make you guys aware, as we write here in this bullet point, given the tropical climate in this region and the fact that, most of the island is on the site of a volcano, you cannot drill a well out here in Hawaii. We get that question a lot about drilling wells. This is not like New Mexico. This is not like other parts of the country. Out here, they rely on rainwater catchment systems, and it's a pretty good business out there because it rains quite a bit. So down here, we have some information about rainwater catchment. Specifically, Waterworks Hawaii is a company that installs these 10,000-gallon tanks for rainwater catchment on properties. This is where a lot of locals get their bath water, get their drinking water, etc. If you're going to build out here, you're probably going to end up building one of these. So if you do have questions about that, about, my God, what does that cost? I've never had to do that in my life. This would be a good company to reach out to and to ask questions about that. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, back to the listing page. I just want to make you guys aware, in regards to CCRs, you can read through this whole document. It's only about 6 pages. As noted, I just kind of boiled it down here into the most notable things that you should be aware of, etc. So, with all that said, I just want to point out to you guys, we have points of interest here on the table. These points of interest are largely copied from our Ocean View Estates properties, even though those are in a different part of the island. That's not us being lazy. That's just most of the stuff on this eastern part of the island does not have a good website that I can direct you guys to. Whatever the case, the Big Island Travel Guide that we link to here should give you an excellent sense of all the many, many things available to you within this district or within the other districts of this island, all the sort of activities. I will just kind of run through these quickly on the map. I just want to show you guys the 130 down here. Highway 130 takes you down here to Kalapana. There's some nice sort of, lava viewing area down here, as well as a national park. There's also a nightly farmers market that takes place out here, very active, a lot of great stuff here. And additionally, the 137, which you could take up the island. This is a sort of nice scenic drive. It's going to take you out to, here we go, let me try to pronounce this, Kahena Beach. I'm sure I massacred that one too. Out to Kahena Beach out here, which of course is one of the popular beaches in the region and also within very close distance of the property. And then of course you're also in close distance to Pohoiki Black Sand Beach. Pohoiki Black Sand Beach, which has a lot of great surfing and picnic areas. Not necessarily a swimming beach, but good for surfing, etc. Anyway, all right, guys, with all that said, I'd encourage you guys to review all the information here on the listing page. If you are thinking about buying a property out here in Nanawale Estates, this is a good one. It's a big one. It's got a lot of great amenities. And as you can see, based on this region of the island, you're going to be within easy driving distance of, a lot of great things out here. So with all that said, let's talk about the buying process. I just want to point out here under our notes about purchasing, Hawaii Federal Credit Union, if you click this, it'll take you to their website. If you don't have all the money right now to buy this property, this is actually one of the few lenders I've ever come across that lend on vacant land. I've never dealt with them personally. I can't endorse them. I don't know much about their lending program other than what I've read on their website. But if this is something that you aren't interested in purchasing, you don't have all the money now, they're going to offer you an interest rate of about 4.7%, which is going to be lower than I could afford to do. So this might be a good resource for you if you're looking for financing for this sort of thing. Additionally, I also want to make you guys aware there's two ways to close on this property. They both begin with a $500 deposit. So if you click the Buy Now button, it's going to take you to this secure checkout page. We're going to ask you a couple questions: legal name for deed, marital status, blah, 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 tax address, everything that we need for the new deed. Once you agree to the terms and click Next, the next page will be a secure checkout, credit or debit card. Enter your information, put down the $500, and you will have made the earnest money, the non-refundable earnest money deposit. After that, we're going to contact you. We're going to ask how you want to close on this property. Now, as noted, there's two ways to do this. One is you can say, Hemingway, you guys, get your attorneys to write the deed, and we will call up our attorneys, and they will write the deed for us, the deed plus conveyance documents. That'll take a few days to get to you. Once we get it to you and you approve it, we'll autograph it, notarize it, mail it off to our attorneys, and they will record it with the county. Method number two, if you're not comfortable, paying whatever, $9,500, to somebody on the internet who you haven't met before. Another way to do this is to close through title and escrow. So the way that works, we have a page on the website. It's up here. It's called Buying From Us. If you click on this, it'll take you to that page. And if you scroll down here to type of closing recommended, title, escrow, this will give you a sense of how that process works. But basically, you put down the $500 deposit. You say, I want to close through title escrow. We're going to draft a sale purchase agreement. It's going to look a lot like this one. If you click this link, it'll go here. You can review that. Whatever the case, we sign it, you sign it, we submit it to the title company, they will do the rest. And when they are ready to convey the property from us to you, once they're ready for us to sign, that's when they will request your funds. Your funds will be escrowed in their accounts and will not be released to us until such a time as we have essentially deeded the property into your name. So one of two ways to do it. One is either we get our attorney to write the deed, or two is you hire the title company to kind of quarterback this transaction. Only thing you guys should be aware of is that if you do want to close through a title company, we're going to ask that you pay all of the closing costs. In Hawaii, closing costs on properties are a scooch higher than they are on the mainland, so you should anticipate probably spending an additional $2,000 for that. And maybe your peace of mind is worth that $2,000, or maybe you just prefer that we get our guys to do it and deed the property to you that way. Whatever the case, those are the two payment methods, two ways of closing on this, and they all begin with clicking the Buy Now button up here. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any further questions, leave a comment here on the YouTube channel. Shoot us an email. Give us a call, 702-919-7170. Glad to finally be listing properties in new and different subdivisions in Hawaii. I look forward to doing more of this in the days and weeks and months to come. Hope you found this informative. Hope you like this. I really like this property, and I don't anticipate it will be around long. So, with all that said, thanks for watching.